Hello everyone, I'm Gabriel and this is the Rise Atlantis show. Hallelujah. Today is a very, very awesome topic of the day. Truly fascinating indeed. I'm going to be talking about the herd of reindeers in the Arctic. Now when I first heard of the story Arctic, I did not know it was by Russia. I thought Arctic was more North Pole. Antarctica, I was thinking. Because Arctic, Antarctica. But after all, it is close to Russia. You see, we tend to forget that when it's Russia, it merges into Antarctica. We think Antarctica is separate, that it's its own continent, when it's not. It's all connected together. North Pole, South Pole is connected with a lot of countries. So, very, very fascinating. It's by Russia. And all the weird stuff, all the weird voodoo that Putin and Russian government is up to. You know, like when they invaded Ukraine. They stole the land of Crimea from Ukraine. They kicked all the people out. Women and children were killed in the process, you know, and Russia just took over all their land. They took over all their military vehicles, all their military weapons. They took over all their buildings. They just invaded it, you know, and the world watched down and did nothing to Russia, you know. Russia has blood on their hands, man. The Russian government has blood on their hands. You know, and the people of Ukraine were really persecuted big time. That is why God sent the meteor towards Russia on February 15th. I believe it was 2014, 15, around there. But that is why God sent, no wait, I believe it was 2011, somewhere around there. All these coughs, I need to get a drink of water. But that is why I believe God sent the meteor towards Russia. You notice how no one died in that meteor, that rock that fell from space in Russia. No one died. Now they said that people were injured. They were pushed to the ground by the blast and all, and shattering windows and all. But no one died from it. Which is a clue it was from God. Also, how it fell into a frozen pond. Now the chances of that happening are 1 in a gazillion. So, it is clear proof that that was sent from God, you know, to wake Putin up. Also to hopefully wake the people of Russia up, to get them to overthrow Putin. We need to overthrow every single dictator. Now, when they say, like with Trump, you know, to impeach him and all, you know, from what I'm seeing, this whole Stormy Daniels thing, they're saying that the Cohen, you know, was paid with Russian money and sold his house. What was it, $77 million to pay for it and all that? Was it donation funds from the election and all? It's very complicated. All the information isn't there yet. So hopefully that money didn't come from the election funds. And it looks like it's not. It looks like it came from this oligarch, they're calling it. This, from what I heard, Cohen received $774,000, $774,000, received almost $1 million from a Russian company, and only kicked off $700 to that girl Stormy Daniels. So, his pocket change compared to the $774,000. You know, so it didn't come from donation funds. So that means I don't think Trump will be impeached. But at least with Trump, you know, he at least, you know, with the 8-year term. But all these other people who've been there for life, they need to go, man. You know, especially if you're doing things like invading Ukraine and stealing Crimea from Ukraine. Russian government, you gotta go, man. You know, just like when they overthrew the government in Egypt, and they're trying to reform and make it for the people. Just like when we overthrew Saddam Hussein in Iraq and Gaddafi in Africa. Was it Libya? It's these dictators, man. We need to remove them from power diplomatically through protests. I know it's not easy, man. I know it's not easy to protest, but it must be done. Hopefully we can see it happen all around the world. So now we'll go ahead and get into the first news article. First news article. I held the hand of Jesus. Former brain-dead Alabama teen says he visited heaven. Now, you know, these skeptics, these scientists, atheists, they get on my nerves because they say, oh, well, how can a person really go to heaven if they're still there on the bench? Or they're still there on the bed? Their souls leave the body. Even though the body's still alive, half of the soul is still making the body alive. The soul splits in half and goes to heaven. Half of the soul stays in the body, and then the other half of the soul comes back from heaven. So that's exactly how to tell skeptics and atheist scientists what a near-death experience is, what astral projecting is. When the soul leaves the body, 50% of the soul stays in the body to keep it alive, and the other 50% it like stretches out. You see, our souls, they could be entwined, they could be merging off and coming back in. That's how when we see dreams and stuff, we see like we're actually in heaven and stuff. It is not our minds, because studies show that people are able to hear and see things that are buildings across, miles across even, cities across, states across, countries across, all around the world, you know. So it is technically not a hallucination. It is not just the active brain. No, we are seeing something more supernatural here, which is a splitting of the soul. 50% keeping the body alive, 50% going to heaven and coming back. So that would be a good title for another video, another day. I'll get into that more. And it's just really an idea I just thought of, like right now on the fly, you know. So what I like about talking, you know, I think about new ideas, you know. So, man, I just thought of this idea. I mean, when you're probably sitting there right now, you're probably thinking, oh, he's always had that idea. No, it just came to me right now. And I believe these ideas, they come from the Lord, you know. They're not just overactive imagination. No, I'm getting visions. Even though I'm not seeing it, I'm like sensing it. My mind is picking up on things, you know. And I really believe they're coming from the Holy Spirit here, you know. So that's how people are able to go to heaven when they're still on earth in a sleep-like state, like a coma or something like this here. This teen was brain dead in Alabama, you know, but not permanently, temporarily. A lot of times in comas, they say, oh, they're just sleeping, they're just thinking it. No, man. Science and studies show that they're able to see and hear stuff that's going on all around. And it's not just lucky guesses. They pinpoint things one after the other. Now, if you can guess that people were saying and doing certain things one after the other and over and over and over again, you know it's not coincidence. You know it's not just lucky guesses. if they're able to be pinpointing things left and right. That's how you know that it's all true, it's all proof, you know? So it's like, there it is. The science speaks for itself. So if these scientists want to try to disprove God with this, we use science to flip it on the scientists and atheists as well. And we say, well, there's so much science that shows proof of the afterlife. Even when people die, science studies show that they put people on a scale. Now, they've done studies like this where they put people on a scale when they died. And why would they put them on a scale to measure their weight? Because they've done studies, and it shows, a whole bunch of them shows that they start to lose weight little by little. And people say, oh, it's just rigor mortis, it's just the chemicals and the liquids leaving the body. That's not true, because in rigor mortis it takes a long period of time, and these studies were showing a fast period of time was losing weight. That weight could be some part of the soul leaving the body, you know. So the science speaks for itself. It is not fluids leaving the body, you know. It is not evaporating. It is something supernatural here. There is some kind of weight that the soul has, that when on a scale it starts to notice the difference. So it is very strange indeed. So his name is Trenton McKinley. He's a 13-year-old boy, was severely injured in a dune buggy. Now I know how those are. I recommend having those roll cages, because the seatbelt's not enough. If you flip over enough, the seatbelt could snap. You can still slip through it. All kinds of things can happen, you know. I recommend those with the roll cages. Protect you if you flip over, because even if you flip over with a seatbelt, if it's not adequately protected on the top, it could damage your head. Just like with the convertible car, it's not good to be driving fast on the freeway, because you can have a tire blowout and you'll land on your head. So that's not good. Convertible cars are only meant to be, you know, driven at reasonable speeds, you know, 20-30 miles per hour on the regular streets. I do not recommend driving all the time, you know, fast, 80, 90, 100 miles per hour on the freeway in a convertible, because so many things can happen. Tire could blow out, a car crashes into you, and if your car flips over, you know, you don't have the safety of the roof to protect you. I mean, regular cars even collapses so easily. So we really need to be careful when we're driving, especially the freeway, because if someone swerves into you, it makes you like jolt your wheel, and any slight movement of the car can make it flip over. So we really don't see how dangerous driving is. So that's why I don't take the freeway often, you know. And it's like that's why it's like, especially rush hour, it's bad, man. People like become monsters during rush hour. It's weird. Sounds funny, but it really is true. So let's see here. So let's see here. So he flipped over in a buggy, an ATV type thing. Oh man, let's see here. His parents made the difficult decision to donate his organs following days of him being apparently brain dead. But after the papers were signed, he miraculously regained consciousness. So isn't that weird? They're about to donate his organs even when he was brain dead. But right when they're about to, he mysteriously woke back up. I believe he was in a coma. Isn't it weird? Comas are strange. Like, why can't they just wake up? They splash all the cold water on them. They try to give them electrodes to make them wake up. Nothing wakes people up from a coma. Comas are very strange. They say it's all just stuff in the brain, you know. So he was brain dead. But it's weird how he came back. Not even little by little, like all of a sudden. It's strange. So, you know, very strange. So all these skeptics and atheists, they say, oh, it's impossible to go to heaven if the body's still on earth and still alive, breathing and all. But my theory is, you know, the soul can split in half, and half of the soul keeps the body alive, breathing and all, and half of the other soul goes to heaven for a futuristic experience and to come back, and it merges back together as the one soul, you know. So, you know, it is a new idea. I don't think anyone has ever thought or talked about that idea before, on how our souls can split in half and travel different places. Astral project, you know. Now people try to beware these people that try to convince you to stop your breathing on purpose and be at that state where it's near dead. Basically induce temporary brain damage, not really brain damage, brain dead temporarily by stopping your breath and all this stuff. I mean, it's almost as bad as who can hold their breath underwater the longest, you know. I mean, too long is like, you know, absurd, you know. So these people, they try to like hold their breath on purpose to get very lightheaded to astral project, and they become brain dead temporarily. They could end up in a coma through that. And a lot of illegal drugs could bring on comas also. So it's very strange. But there's people that try to astral project the wrong way like that, you know. And I guess the best way, in my opinion, astral projection, that'll be another title for another video, is find ways to keep your brain active when you're asleep. Me, I have the fan on at night, so the sound, it always keeps my brain active. And that makes my brain go into lucid dreaming. I'm starting to study into lucid dreaming every night with just something so simple as having a plug-in fan on. The sound it makes, you know? That sound, it keeps your brain active in your sleep, so you can enter lucid dreaming to where you can control your dreams. Fascinating stuff, you know? And like, it's healthy for us to be fully aware of our dreams, because we can prevent from stopping of our breathing in our sleep. We can prevent against nightmares even. We can prevent against, when we can control our dreams, we can stop nightmares from happening like that as it's happening, you know? So not only do we make sure we're breathing 100%, through having something as simple as a fan on, but two, we also can prevent nightmares, and three, you know, we can also enter lucid dreaming to where we can control our dreams. We could also be seeing deja vu of things happening the next day that's going to happen, you know, and it's like predicting stuff through the form of dreams. God shows us certain dreams to where He lets us see things in advance. I hope to receive that more. I hope to harness that gift. Hopefully the Lord could give me that gift of being one of the most powerful psychics. I want to be like Nostradamus here. People scoff at Nostradamus. They say, oh, well, he didn't get everything accurate. He didn't get everything correct. You don't have to. As long as you get a good amount, 50, 60, 70, and they're not just lucky guesses. You're really getting intuitions, ESP, extrasensory perception. You're really tuning in, and you're really receiving, information on a higher plane, which is the power of God. You know what I mean? So these skeptics, they can talk all they want, man, but we know we are on the high plane here. You know what I mean? So, let's see here. What else did he say? He hit the concrete and the trailer land on top of his head. My God. God bless him, man. I'm so happy he lived it up. And it's really cool hearing people's stories that they've gone to heaven. I had a dream where Jesus was walking me into heaven. That was, I believe, in 2009. When all this start of all this crazy stuff started happening. I started seeing all the signs and apparitions and all. In 2009. You know, and ever since then I'd be like, is this the year of your return, Lord? Next year I'm like, is this the year? And then every year I'd be like, is this the year? Is this the year? I'm getting burnt out. I'm getting drained. And it is really getting, wearing me out, man. You know? And I'm getting exhausted. And I don't know how much years I could keep going by. I don't want to be like a friend of mine told me one time. You're going to be an 80-year-old man and you won't see Jesus returning. You're going to die of old age and you're going to see Jesus returning. And I tell him, no, man. God's telling me Jesus returning, telling me that they're returning very soon. They're appearing in the clouds. You know, there's all these signs and apparitions. Not all of them could be hoaxes. I know there's a good amount that are real, you know? I mean, all the stuff I'm seeing and stuff, I'm seeing personal apparitions. You know, I've even heard the voice of God say the dust of the earth will rise. You know? That clearly telling me it's not going to happen 100 years from now. That is very soon. It's imminent. It could be, you know, right now. Basically, you know. So, if it was 100 or more years from now, God wouldn't have told me that the dust of the earth is about to rise. That's a part in the Bible where it talks about the rapture. That we are the dust and we're about to rise to heaven. You know? We were created out of dust. And we are the dust. But we are about to become way much more than dust. You know? I'm telling you, man. We are about to become superhuman in the kingdom of heaven. You know? Superhuman. So, man, let's see here. What else did he say that he saw here? It's very hard to sift through all this. Let's see here. He saw white specks like glitter. And then he said, look upon God. Pigment changes. And he was in heaven for a whole day. Wow. And when I saw heaven, I really didn't see it because it was like far in the horizon. You know, all I just saw when Jesus was walking me into heaven was like a rock pavement, a very long road, like a not really cement, more like a gray rock type, and like gravel type, and then like little streams of water on each side. Not big streams, like this big, you know, size of a person, this big on each side, and was going all the way down. I was like, wow, this is amazing, you know. And so, I don't know what it means. The streams, I don't know what it means. I think there's a meaning there. I just can't figure it out. Let's see here. So, not really describing what he saw there. Just talking about seeing white specks of glitter everywhere. That he was in heaven for a whole day. Okay. Jesus held his hand and was walking through a field, holding a baby in his arm. He said his mom told him she lost a boy from a miscarriage. "For I was born," is what he said. "I knew it was my brother." That's what he said. So, wow, you know, and it's crazy. We don't think that babies that are aborted or miscarriages, they go to heaven. It is strange, though, how we have to suffer and go through a whole lifetime of hardship on this earth. And then when babies are aborted, they get the easy entrance into heaven without having to go through all this madness of this world. It seems they get a free pass to heaven and we didn't. You know, I mean, it's very hard to believe that aborted babies go to heaven. Or, you know, stuff like this, miscarriage babies go to heaven. But then again, we can't question God's. How does the saying go? We can't question God's the law of the universe. You know what I mean? The way I see it, when we live on this earth, we get to experience the joy as well, and we can help so many people out in this world also. So it's not 100% hardship, you know. So, you know, that is awesome. I want to find more stories of what people are seeing and what dreams that people are seeing also. I wish to be seeing more powerful dreams soon. And I hope you all start to see powerful dreams in Jesus' return as well. U.S. apologized after Canadian minister was asked to remove his turban. I don't agree with that. Every Muslim should be allowed to wear the turban, no matter where they are. Whether it be in the White House, whether it be in a Canadian minister, you know, because it is a violation of their, not just their religion, their heritage, their culture, you know, and it just seems very New World Order-ish, you know, and you can't be persecuting people's rights like this, you know. A black Yale graduate student took a nap in a dorm common room, so a white student called police. In her dorm's common room. Now, I don't know what a common room is. I guess it's a room you're not supposed to sleep in. A common, I believe she shares a room with her roommates. But she was sleeping in the room, and why is that wrong or illegal? Was it during school hours? And I don't know. Yeah. Supposedly they said she didn't belong there, but she was saying that she pays tuition like everyone else, and she has the right to be there. I don't know. Were they persecuting her because she was black? It's weird. Weird stuff. Now, where did this happen? This is in Yale. Now, Yale, we're supposed to see it like the top of the top. They're like Harvard, you know. They're most prestigious. So, I don't know. It's weird. Weird stuff indeed. The show Brooklyn Nine-Nine has been canceled. That's big news. You would thought these shows would be around forever. Like CSI and all. A lot of fun. This is big. Saudi Arabia set to pursue nuclear weapons if Iran restarts program. Saudi Arabia, supposedly they've been peaceful for so long, but now there seems they may be on the war footing here. And they're saying that they want to start up their nuclear reactors if Iran does as well. It's not good. But Saudi Arabia, they're so rich, the sheiks and all them, and they control all our oil. So it's not good. Speaking about oil, I want to talk about in Revelation where it says 4 horsemen. One of them say, do not damage the wheat or the oil. I believe the wheat. Or something like that. Do not damage the oil. And a barley's wheat is a day's worth of pay. Or something like that. So, were they talking about the oil used to light the candles and all? The torches? Were they talking about that oil? Or were they talking about the oil in the earth that's used for all our cars? Now, they weren't using that oil back then. They might have, I doubt it. But I don't think they were. So if they weren't using that oil, and only the angels knew about it, that we'd be using oil in the future, could they have talked about it like that? Wow, it makes you wonder, man. Doesn't make you wonder? It makes me wonder. Were they talking about the actual oil used for our cars? Wow. And could it be in relation to the Iraq War and how we took out Saddam Hussein and supposedly they said we weren't going in for the oil, but now we are using the oil to try to help Iraq as well. So goes both ways. Next story: Rolls-Royce unveils their first SUV. I don't get it. Why would a high-end luxury car maker go for such a basic-looking design as an SUV? The way I see it, who would pay for a Rolls-Royce SUV? Unless they just want to show off. I mean, it's an SUV. Oh, but it's a Rolls-Royce. That's all that materialism that needs to stop, man. Greed. Diego Rivera painting becomes highest priced Latin American art. So this guy, Diego Rivera, seems like he is becoming the most famous, richest Latin American artist. Now this picture here looks like they're looking into a mirror, but the guy sees himself, but when the girl's looking in, she sees so much other girls. I don't know what this means here. Could it be talking about polygamy? You see, the guy just sees himself, but the girl sees multiple, like multiple wives for the guy here. That's what it looks like it's saying here. No, I mean, it could be heavy references in favor for polygamy. And it's crazy, you know, they want to bring back they want to bring back polygamy, like that guy, Warren Jeffs, or with that scandal that happened in that church he had, that ranch, you know, so, dangerous trend of polygamy coming back. Wells Fargo owes $97 million to California workers. Now we just keep hearing bad news left and right from Wells Fargo. It seems that someone may have to buy them out or something, because at what point is the madness going to stop of Wells Fargo coming out with all these incidents of all this fraud left and right? I hope Wells Fargo can bounce back from this, because they were the leaders in mortgages for everyone, so they're really getting a bad. I'm not trying to say a bad name. I mean, the stuff they're involved in was really bad, but at the same time, I mean, I hope they can make themselves better. And it's really hard when they've been tainted like that, you know. So maybe they need to change the name and reform it, restructure it. I don't know, man. Something might have to happen. And the last story. Net neutrality set to end on June 11th. This is big. What is net neutrality? See, when it was under Obama, everything was fair. Everything was like, now I'm not saying Trump reversed it and messed it all up. It's the people that are trying to mess it up under Trump's term. So under Obama, it was like net neutrality. The way it worked was everything was fair. You wouldn't have to pay higher prices for other things and services and all this. Now when they want to do away with net neutrality, now they want to start charging people more for everything. It's basically the same thing as when Spectrum first were promising people so much cheap prices, and all of a sudden, you know, jacked up the prices sky high. That's basically what the end of net neutrality is going to be. They're going to start charging everyone an arm and a leg soon, so it's not good at all. We should have everything a la carte. What a la carte means is we should select what we want to pay for, you know? Not just be forced to pay for the whole thing, you know? And it's getting crazy. We need more choices, you know? In the end, the customer's always right, man. And these companies should not nickel and dime us. Now we'll go ahead and get to the topic of the day. Now, I showed a video of it, I believe it was yesterday, 2 days ago, of the reindeer herd circling themselves. Very strange. And not just one not just one section. There was like three huge gates where all these reindeer herds were circling each other, running. They're not walking, they're running in circles. And it's strange, it sounds funny, but I think I know what the meaning is here. Now this happened in the Arctic, which is by Russia. So, reindeer running in circles. Okay. So, these reindeers are running in circles. And I think it could mean the reindeer has to signify, symbolize Santa and maybe Christmas. So could it be saying Jesus returning in Christmas? I can't really find the video yet. Maybe if I put the word spinning, because people aren't really using the words running the same. Let's see here. Well, no. Let's see here. Spinning. Turning wouldn't be the word. Walking. Maybe they put walking, but they're really running. Let's see here. Can't find the video for some reason. I think I found it. Okay, well I know I posted on the Facebook page, so I have to pull it up under there. Here we go. This is strange indeed. Strange indeed. Now they're going clockwise. So I'm not sure that's counterclockwise if you see it upside down. They're spinning clockwise. Now it's not just that one section, there's like 3 giant gates. And they're all doing the same thing. Now people are offering theories as, oh, they're keeping themselves warm. Well, that's not true because they've never done this before. And people say they're protecting the herd. They're protecting something, but they've never done this before again. You know, there's no possible explanation except I think it's a sign of our Lord's return. And how it's spinning in circles could be, you know, like a clock goes clockwise. This herd of reindeer are going clockwise. Maybe it could be time speeding up till Jesus' return. But if you see it of the video upside down, like if you're looking at the angle from the other side of the place, if you're seeing it with your own eyes, if you're actually there, you're seeing the opposite way, it's going counterclockwise. So it could be also saying that time will stop for the evil people. Or if you're seeing it clockwise, it's going to speed up till Jesus returns. So it is very fascinating because I want to bring up this very cool thing that connects this to it. I once read this book called Childhood's End by Arthur C. Clarke. And I just found out that he's the same one that wrote 2001 Space Odyssey and a lot of other big name books and movies. So he was basically the one writing the books. Who's the one that made the movie adaptation of it? I forgot his name. He's a very famous person too. But this book is about extraterrestrials arriving. And the reason it's called Childhood's End is because they start trying to clone themselves and cloning humans, and that's basically the childhood's end. So that's basically what it talks about. Because when they start cloning humans, they're going to be like slaves, forced to look like other people, you know. And human cloning is a basic form of future slavery, you know. Now in this book, not revealing any spoilers, there's an alien, and it gets very famous, and people start accepting these aliens in the society, and they start like mingling with each other in the fancy parties and all. And you know, the aliens are walking amongst humans like nothing, you know, like it's the norm. And and in the book, it's very strange because it talks about that some of the kids get like demonically possessed and start running around in circles, you know, screaming, you know, and just like yelling gibberish, basically, speaking in tongues and stuff, and they're just running in circles hysterically. And it's strange because that's the same thing that these reindeers are doing. They're running in circles hysterically. So, from what I know, there hasn't been any other animal that's done this before. And it's weird because when I first heard that, the first thing I immediately thought about was this book here. And that excerpt where it said, where they're spinning in circles, is the same thing that these reindeer are doing, running in circles. So, that is strange how this book, the author, Arthur C. Clarke, talked about that, and then now it's happening here. The reindeers are running in circles. So I think maybe the author got some kind of, picked up some psychic vibes here, you know, or maybe he wrote that and then God brought this sign forth for everyone who's read that part of the book, you know. So it's very fascinating indeed. And how that part in the book where it says that they're running around in circles is the same thing that reindeer are doing, running in circles. And from what I know, I haven't read or seen anything else that relates specifically to running in circles. You know, running in circles is like a saying. It's a phrase people use to where they say you're going nowhere. You know, like that song Mad World by Gary Jules also. Tears for Fears did a retro cover of it also. And there's a part in the song where it says they're lining up for their daily races, going in circles, going nowhere, you know. And basically, running in circles is a phrase that you're in the loop, you know, and you're never getting out of the loop. You're never going in the straight line again. You're always in a loop, you know, which means you're always stuck in the same spinning motion, and you never get onto a straight section, you know. So that's why I believe, you know, the saying goes, you know, running in circles. It's, oh, you're just running in circles here, which means nothing's happening. And the same thing, basically, is what it means. And, but now we're seeing it literally, that reindeer are literally running in circles. And if you're seeing it clockwise, it means time could be speeding up for Jesus' return. If you're seeing it counterclockwise, it could mean that time's about to stop for the evil people. That time's about to stop for the evil people. You know, and so it's very confusing, because if you see it in like it's going clockwise, like the way you're seeing it from the continents, the way they look on the map, the world map, it looks like that's the right way it should be, right? So if they're seeing it the same way the continents look, and they're seeing it that way, and they're going clockwise. Now, when I go clockwise here, the camera makes it go counterclockwise. I don't know, for some reason the camera's like reversed. So I'm not sure if it's coming out the other way, you know. But if you see it like if it's upside down, then that means it's going counterclockwise. So it's very confusing to know exactly which way they're running in, because unless you're actually there, that's the only way you can know for certain. They're not saying on the news source which direction it's going. Yeah, it looks like it's going clockwise, but for all we know, it could be going counterclockwise, and it's not saying which way they're running. So we are just supposed to take the video at face value and to say, okay, maybe they're spinning clockwise. So, I mean, it could mean times about to speed up. And for the evil people, you know. So it's fascinating stuff. You know, I hope we see more powerful signs like this. It's like I had the dream last night of, actually I think it was 2 nights ago. I started seeing animals disappearing in the rapture, little by little. Then after a certain time, all the animals disappeared, even all our pets, all our cats, all our dogs, all our goldfish. You know, they were all disappearing. And once a certain time came, boom, they all disappeared. And as a clear sign to let everyone on earth know that the rapture is next. So I believe, based on the dream, that God was showing me a vision saying that pretty soon animals are going to start disappearing. This is why we could be seeing bees disappearing, because a lot of times we're not finding the dead bees. Now, they do find some dead bees, but not all of them are being found as dead bees. So where are they going? They're mysteriously vanishing. So it could be a sign that God's trying to stop the pollination, because God's trying to shake things up, as a sign telling us that there's not going to be any more food, not going to be any more crops when Jesus returns. And when Jesus brings us to heaven, everyone left behind are about to go through the tribulation, which is rightfully deserved. All the evil people are going to have to receive their karma, you know, and God's going to bring His wrath upon the evil people after the rapture, everyone who is left behind. You know what I mean? So these vanishing bees could be a sign of animals disappearing. Even though a bee is not an animal, they're an insect. Maybe we could see, of course, all the insects are going to maybe vanish also. So, my theory is that animals are going to start disappearing first. Now, it's not going to happen too long to where all the humans freak out and get scared and lose their minds. It's going to be happening in a very fast amount of time. It's not going to be within months, years. It's going to be like within days and weeks of animals disappearing, you know? Because the way I see it is that we start seeing animals disappearing even with our own eyes. You know, hey, where did our cat and dog go? And where's everyone else pets at? You know, they all just mysteriously vanish. The way I see it is God doesn't want to have that period last too long, like months and years, to where people get too scared and how should I say, too scared and really just lose their minds. That is maybe days and weeks, not months and years, from the time when our pets vanish. So it may even be hours or minutes, you know, 30 minutes after we see animals disappearing, 30 minutes after the rapture. You know, it could be seconds. Who knows? I'm just basing this on the dream I saw. You know? So it is very, very awesome stuff. So we'll go ahead and end it there. We'll go ahead and get into the EVP segment. And so the disappearing animals, that was the title for like 2 days ago of the dream I saw. And the title on this one is about the reindeer herds that are running in circles, and it could be a sign reindeers talking about Santa, about Christmas. It could be saying maybe Jesus returning on Christmas. So, or it may be even sooner. It may be this summer. Who knows? It can happen any minute. It can happen right now, you know. But I believe we're going to be seeing powerful signs and apparitions so obvious that everyone will be prepared to line up into heaven, one by one, you know. Now we'll go ahead and get the EVPs going. Here we go. Okay, here we go. This phone, we got the words. Manage your time, be happy. That sounds like a fortune cookie, right? Crack it open, it says, manage your time, be happy. That's funny. You know, these are very, what's it called? Words of inspiration. Like it's the inspirational words of the day here, you know. So it's you know, it's inspirational words to tell you all as well. Let us all manage our time and be happy. Okay, and this phone got the words. That's a good EVP, I like that one. This one got the words fun, like they're trying to say fun. Visit our grandparents. I read your mind. Now I got that one 2 days ago. It's very rare when we get those same words like that. The same. And then pincer, P-I-N-C-E-R, comfortless. So something is not comfortable at all. Deniedly. Something being denied. Weird. Weird. We'll go and do 4 more. Okay, this is weird. It says, how many words to piece together here? Alright, let's see here. Alrighty then. It has the words spotlight, no wait, the spotlight in our relationship shirt changes. I have no idea. Basically about spotlight and relationship. And something is changing in shirts. Don't know what it means. Okay. And this phone got the words odometer. That's like a something to do with speed in the car, like a speedometer, odometer. Cooled, something being cooled. Brad, that sounds like a very preppy name. And preppy's cool, you know. I like prep style, you know. Like Brad, was I talking about the actor Brad Pitt, or is it another Brad? What was that NFL player? Humid, clearings, jackhead, adequate, would like to talk to us. So what can I make out of this? An odometer in a car is being cooled, and Brad. Who's Brad? Which Brad? And humid could be talking about the cars in the summer, and by the beach is humid. Something being clearing. A jacket is what you use to work on a car, maybe. Adequate. So we're seeing a lot of stuff talking about a car here, like fixing a car. It's strange. And we'll go ahead and do 2 more. Alright. Okay, let's see here. And here we go, the last 2. Weird. This is saying, don't erase, let lease of life. So it's saying something about don't erase something, let lease on life. I think this could be the ghost talking smack here, saying, don't erase, which is saying don't erase the world and don't go to heaven, and take a new lease on life and just enjoy the world as it's falling apart, going to hell, and and keep letting the world suffer and not bringing Jesus' return, and just basically, yeah, you know, to keep being selfish and not caring about people. Nope, that's not me, man, you know. So it's a ghost really talking smack, saying, oh, the world isn't really that bad. Yes, it is, man. And we're not being pessimistic by clearly saying how bad the world is. We're just stating the facts here. And we're telling the world of the good news, you know, on how beautiful everything's going to be. We're about to inherit our mansions in heaven soon, you know. Everything's going to be so amazing. Who could ever want to push that aside? Not me. You know, it's so exciting that how can you lose that spark of excitement, man? This one got the words null, N-O-L, and then Ness, G-N-E-I-S-S. No idea. Gaku, G-A-K-U, sounds like Goku of Dragon Ball Z. And then love those who hate you. So I have no idea. Do you know what this means? Because I have no clue at all. Funny words. Hopefully we can really find meaning to all these words. So, a lot of times when I see these words, I mean, I don't think anything of it. And later on, I find stuff that, it really relates to stuff, you know, so. Something to ponder on, definitely. Something to ponder on. So, we'll go ahead and end it there. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please tell everyone you know to like, share, and subscribe. And please tell everyone you know. These reindeer herd running in circles is a sign running clockwise, which means that time is about to speed up for the evil people, and it's about to end. And we're about to receive everlasting perfection. We're about to transcend to perfection. This is basically, it's not the end, it is the beginning of everlasting perfection. Hallelujah. So we'll go ahead and end it there. Powerful, powerful topics of the day. Powerful, powerful news even. News are signs. And powerful, powerful EVPs. Hallelujah. So with this show, I bring the best of the three worlds here. I bring the news, which are signs. I bring the topics of the day, which are the main key focal parts of signs. And then the last one, which are the EVPs. Now, later on, I'll probably be ghost hunting also. But for now, running the show, I'm having it with EVPs for now. I mean, I'm going to have this show get so interactive later on. I'm going to be ghost hunting. I'm going to be taking callers. I'm going to be having guests on up-and-coming celebrities, you know. The whole 9 yards, you know. I'm going to be summoning apparitions live in El Paso, Texas. And from God, so it ain't easy. But big things are happening. And they're coming soon. So go ahead and please like, share, subscribe. Please tell everyone you know to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. God bless. Good night. Jesus is returning. Hallelujah.